Hi everyone, my name's Julia and I'm a physical therapist at Breakthrough. Today I'm here with a short little set of exercises that's going to work on shoulder and scapular stability and strength. This is going to be geared towards overhead athletes. So for me, I'm a swimmer, and so these are really helpful for keeping my shoulder blades nice and strong, for pulling myself through the water. This is also going to be helpful for any athletes who hit as part of their sport or spend any time overhead throwing, hitting, using a racket, whatever it is. And so our shoulder is really mobile. We can get our hand overhead, out to the side, lots of places. But for that mobility, we sacrifice a lot of stability. So your shoulder blade essentially floats on your rib cage and it's stabilized by your muscles. So this exercise set is going to really focus on shoulder blade stability, so strengthening those scapular muscles to control your shoulder blade on your rib cage, as well as rotator cuff strength. Okay, so all you'll need for this workout is a little bit of space and then a resistance band. So you can either use a band like this or one with hand loops that you can hold on to. And then you'll need something to fasten the band to. I'm going to use the hinges of a door here. You can also throw your band around a tall bedpost or a stair banister. Okay, so let's get started. So before getting into these strengthening workouts, or these strengthening exercises, let's warm up the shoulders. So we're just going to do some shoulder rolls, backwards and forwards. So you can use this video a few different ways. You can just do the warm-up part if you just need a little break from work, or you can do the warm-up plus the strengthening exercises. There's going to be some stretches at the end, so you can just do those as well if you're trying to just work on your shoulder mobility. But I really encourage you to do the whole thing all the way through for the most benefits. So then we'll go to shoulder external rotation. So bend your elbows and you're just going to rotate your palms away from your stomach and towards your stomach, like your arm is rotating on a skewer. You don't want to straighten your elbows or bend your elbows anymore. You're trying to get that rotation through your upper arm. And we're going to bring our arms out to the side here. So gradually work them up until they're in a 90-90 position. And here you want to make sure your chest isn't popping forward or your shoulders curling forward. So keep those elbows and shoulders in line. And just warm up those rotator cuff muscles here before we add some resistance. A couple more of these. Get your shoulders away from your ears. Don't let them hunch up. Your shoulders and ears are not friends. Don't let them hang out. Okay, the next one is going to be scapular squeezes. You're just going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So trying to crease your muscles. Try and touch your shoulder blades together here. And again, you want to do this without shrugging your shoulders up. So try and squeeze your shoulder blades together like you're trying to pinch a penny between your shoulder blades. This is really nice, especially for desk workers who spend a lot of time hunched over at your desk. Just get those postural muscles all woken up. And the last warm-up exercise here is going to be arm circles. So big arm circles. That was too aggressive. You can always start smaller and then get bigger as you go. Just work through that full range of motion for your shoulder here, especially for overhead athletes. Really important to have that full range of motion, but also to be strong and be able to control your shoulder in those overhead ranges. So a couple more of these, and we'll start off with the exercises. All right, so now you should be feeling kind of nice and loose in the shoulders. So our first set of 2 exercises, we're going to go 15 reps of each on each side, and then twice through these 2. It's going to be 1, a standing Y liftoff, and 2, alternating shoulder external rotation with the band. So for those standing Y liftoffs, you're going to come next to a wall, put your hands up in a Y position, touch your hands to the wall, be a few inches away from it, and then you're just going to alternate lifting one arm off the wall, then the other. So the goal here is to tilt your shoulder blade off your rib cage here, tilt your shoulder blade backwards in order to lift your hand off instead of just like bending your elbow or flinging your arm back, okay? So do 15 on each side. Start up. 1, keep steady breathing. 2, Shoulders away from the ears. 3, 4. Tilt your shoulder blade back and keep your core tight. 6. You're only lifting your hand a few inches off the wall. 7, 8. Try and drag that shoulder blade down your back. 9, 10, 11. Shoulders away from your ears. 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. So now you're going to grab your band. So I'll grab my band here. Hold the band with your elbows bent about 90 degrees. Have a little bit of tension in the band at the start, wrists in neutral. And you're going to stabilize with one arm while you rotate out with the other, and then stabilize with that arm, alternate, rotate out with the other arm. So you want to keep your elbows tucked in by your sides, and again, don't straighten your elbow here because you want to get it all from those rotator cuff muscles. So 15 on each side. 1, only rotate out as far as you can with control. 2, keep your shoulders square. 3, should start to feel burn pretty quick here. I already feel it. 4, 5, control out and in. 7, don't let your arm just ricochet back to the start point. You have to control both directions. 9, 10, rotating arm like it's on a skewer. 11, 12, keep those wrists in neutral. 13, my shoulders are burning here. Hopefully yours are too. 14, one more each side. And 15. Whew, shake that out. Going back to those standing Ys. So right up next to the wall and start it up. 1, keep that core engaged. Don't let your ribs pop out. 2, 3. If you want, you can do these both at the same time. I like to do them alternating. 5, 6. See if you can really pull your shoulder blade down your back here. 8, 9. Keep your breathing nice and steady. 10, 11. Just trying to tilt that shoulder blade back. It's not a big motion. 13, 14, and 15. All right, shake that out. And we'll come back, grab our band, and start up with those external rotations again. So start it up. 1, 2, and my shoulders are a little tired today already because I already went for a swim. 4, but you can also add these onto your, if you just finished a weight training program here, you can just add these exercises on as a little bit of a shoulder stabilization burnout at the end. I think that's 7, 8, slow and steady. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, whew, shake it out. So our next 3 exercises are going to be a bent over scapular set, a 90-90 shoulder internal rotation, and 90-90 shoulder external rotation, all with the band here. So here's where you're going to need something to fasten your band to. I'm just going to use the hinges of the door. You want to fasten it just about, probably about your head height here. So stick it in the hinges here. Make sure it's all the way through. Then you're going to close the door on your band. Give it a couple of yanks. Make sure it's nice and secure there. So for this first one, you're going to hinge at the hips, and then you're going to pull your shoulder down and back your back here against the resistance of the band. So this is really important, especially for that overhead swimming. Instead of kind of jamming your shoulder up near your arm to pull down. You want to set your shoulder back and then pull from there. So during the catch in that swinging. So get a little resistance here. Hinge at the hips, keep your back straight, don't let yourself slump. Elbow straight, you're just going to slide your shoulder down. So we'll do 15 on each side. 1, 2. So you have a little resistance here to pull against. 3. It helps really guide that movement of your shoulder blade sliding down your rib cage. 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, you could do this both at the same time. I prefer to do one at a time, just to isolate my shoulder blades one at a time. Get really good control here. 13, 14, 15. Okay. Next one's going to be shoulder 90-90 internal rotation. So get a nice grip on the band here. We're going to walk out. Your elbow should be the same height as your shoulder and elbow bent at 90 degrees. So that's your 90 degree bend here. And you're just going to rotate your palm towards the ground. And we'll go for 15. So control coming down and control allowing the band to pull it back up. 5, and try and avoid the tendency to draw your elbow forward. Keep it nice and in line with that shoulder. 7, 8, core nice and tight. 9, 10, keep your shoulder down away from your ear. 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, go ahead and switch hands here. And so again, this one you can also do, we'll start up. You can do this one both arms at a time to be more time efficient. But again, I just like isolating one side at a time. It gets a little bit more core workout here, and you get focused really on your shoulder and your scapular stability one arm at a time here. I think that's 5, 6, core on, shoulders away from ears, 8, and you want that elbow in line with your shoulder. 10, still rotating that upper arm as if it's on a skewer. 11, the skewer is just horizontal now instead of being vertical. 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, so then we'll go to external rotation. So I'll go back to my left arm. So same position, 90-degree bend in the elbow, 90-degree bend in the shoulder. And you're just going to rotate backwards. So we'll set it down, set it up here, shoulder away from your ear, and start it up. 2, 3, 4. So this one's actually quite a bit harder than the internal rotation. So if you have a lighter band, I would switch to using your lighter band on this one. Or, as I can do here, I can just step closer to the wall, or my anchor point, to give a little bit less resistance. This is 9, 10, and try and avoid that elbow coming forward. 1, 2, this is 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so we'll repeat that on the other arm. Draw that elbow back in line with your shoulder, and start it up. 1, core engaged. 2, shoulder away from ear. 3, keep that elbow nice and stable. 4, 5, if you need, step closer. 6, this one is challenging. 7, really important for throwers or hitters, especially for the deceleration phase of that throw or that hit when you're in that follow through. You don't just want to yank your shoulder, you want your muscles to be able to control when you're decelerating. I think we have 5 more here. 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. So if you can think about it, if you're throwing, that deceleration phase, you don't just want to let your shoulder go, you want to be able to control slowing down and also coming back to cock your arm for the next throw or the next hit. So we're going to go back to those scapular set downs. And so here, hopefully you can see how for swimming, you could catch and then pull. So pull your shoulder blade down and then start your pull. So here we're just going to do the scapular sets and then start it up. 1, 2, for more resistance, just back up a little more. 3, 4, slide those shoulder blades down your back. 5, 6, try and keep your elbows straight. 7, back straight, hinging at the hips. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. So hopefully you can really feel that resistance is helping you slide your shoulder blade down your back here against the resistance of the band. So back into that internal rotation. So start it up, 15 here. 1, 2, shoulders away from your ears, steady breathing. 4, 5, 6, elbow in line with your shoulder. 8, 9, control rotating your palm down and letting it go back up. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, switch hands here. Start it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Core engaged. Nice upright posture. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold that 90-90 position at your shoulder and elbow. 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. Okay, so we'll flip it around, do the external rotation here. I'm going to step a little closer because this is challenging. My shoulders are burning. So draw that elbow back, shoulder away from your ear, and start it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see I'm starting to fatigue here. 9, 10. So if I had a lighter band, I'd probably want to use a lighter band. 12, 13. We want to go quality over quantity. So if you find yourself, that's 15 there. If you find yourself really trying to use your body momentum to get your arm up, just take a break and then come back to it. Or maybe just stop at about 8 or 10 reps until you work your way up into these 15, okay? So last one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My elbow's starting to creep forward. 11. Try and fight, keep it back. 13. A couple more. 14. And 15. Whew, all right. Shake it out. The shoulders just did a lot of work, so hopefully your scapular muscles and your shoulder rotator cuff is feeling a little bit burned out right now, and that means you worked them well. So now we're just going to do a couple mobility and stretch exercises right at the end here. So you're going to need a wall here or a doorway to do these first couple stretches. First one is a bent elbow pec stretch. So put your forearm flat on the wall or on the doorway, and then you're just going to rotate your chest away from the door here, or away from that wall. Nice steady breathing, and you should feel a nice stretch across the front of your shoulder and a little bit into your chest. This is going to do a little bit to stretch your internal rotator muscles as well as your chest muscles here. And you can play with the angle. You can either raise your elbow up a little bit, bring it down a little bit, or keep it right at that 90°, whatever feels most comfortable for you. A couple more breaths here, then we'll switch sides. Okay, go ahead and switch. So forearms flat on the wall, or if you're using a doorway, you can kind of put it along the doorway like that. And then you're just going to rotate your chest away from the wall or the doorway here. So breathe into this stretch. And again, you can kind of walk your arm up, get a little different angle on that shoulder, or slide it down, a little different angle there. But you should be feeling a nice stretch in the front of the shoulder and a little bit in the chest. A couple more breaths here. Okay, the next one's going to be an overhead lat stretch. So both arms flat on the wall here. 1 foot forward, core engaged so your back doesn't arch. And just sink your chest towards the wall. Still try and keep your shoulders away from your ears here. Don't let them really hunch up next to your ears. You want to try and keep those muscles relaxed. This is stretching your lats here, which is, your lats are a big shoulder depressor. So those scapular set downs and the standing Y lift-offs, your lats do help with those exercises. So if you're already really mobile, you don't have to do a ton of stretching. You don't have to hold it this long, but if you're trying to improve your overhead mobility, these ones would be great to do, especially after a workout or a little bit of an exercise set, so your muscles are nice and warm and ready to be stretched. All right, let that one relax. The next couple exercises are going to be down on the ground. So the first one's going to be a thread the needle. It's going to be starting in all fours on the ground here. So you're going to reach one arm out to the side and then thread the needle. So this arm is going to reach under your other arm and rotate. Try and get the back of your shoulder and the back of your head on the ground. You should feel a nice stretch across the back of your shoulder blades here. Breathe into the stretch and you can kind of walk your hand a little bit farther into the stretch as you're able. More breaths here. Walk your head a little farther if you can. Come out of it. We'll switch sides. So reach out to the side and thread the needle. Thread your hand under your other arm. And breathe here. Try and expand across your shoulder blades. Walk your hand a little bit farther. And this one, sometimes I'll get a few cracks in my back with this one, which always feels nice. But you should feel a nice release in your shoulder muscles. A couple more breaths here. All right, and then coming out of that, our next one is going to be a sleeper stretch, so lying on the ground on your side. So put your elbow kind of right in front of your shoulder here. Laying on your side, you can put a pillow on your head if you want to for support. And you're just going to gently rotate your palm towards the ground. This one has to be really gentle. Do not crank this stretch. This is just a really gentle stretch for those rotator cuff muscles. Stretching out your external rotators. So your supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, giving those a gentle stretch here. So this is not one to crank. You have to be really gentle. Those muscles are a little bit vulnerable in that shoulder, so don't overstretch them. Okay, go ahead and switch sides. And put your other elbow on the ground right in front of your shoulder and gently rotate the palm of your hand towards the ground. So this one, same thing as with those rotation exercises. You want to treat your upper arm like it's a skewer and you're just rotating the skewer instead of like lifting up your arm or letting it come down or straightening or bending your elbow here. So just hold a nice gentle stretch here, a couple more breaths. And you can also do that sleeper stretch against a wall. So if you want to do the sleeper stretch against a wall, you just stand next to a wall as if you were lying on your side. Bring that elbow up just to about shoulder height, and then you can gently press down. Again, really gentle. So just gently press your palm down towards the ground here. So that's one way you can also do the sleeper stretch in standing, okay? Okay, so that was it. That was a short little set of exercises. We had a little warm-up, some stability exercises, and a little bit of mobility stretching at the end. So those are going to be a great little set of exercises for overhead athletes. Like I mentioned, you can just use the warm-up if you need to move around a little bit at your desk. You can also use the strengthening exercises as kind of a burnout round for shoulder stability at the end of a strength workout or at the end of any workout. Or if you just really need to increase the mobility in your shoulder, you can use those stretches to work on your shoulder mobility. It will be helpful to do those stretches after you've gotten yourself a little bit warm at least, okay? So hopefully that was helpful for you, and hopefully that helps you strengthen your shoulders as an overhead athlete. Thanks for joining me.